I just basically did an experiment, right? I didn't realize that I was doing it, but basically still did. And I've been testing to see, like, how can I word this? I don't know how to word this. You know what? I do know how to word this. I basically have been, I don't want to say pushing. How can I even word this? Do I just word this as it is? Alright, I'll word it as it is. Alright, I have come to the conclusion that I am no longer going to call... I'm going to call it special cell from now on. Special cell, right? And I want to call it special cell because I've come to the realization that that's exactly what it is. It has nothing to do with there being something wrong with the cells. That is absolutely, like, not what it is at all. And I'm going to go into why not even why, I can just tell you off of experience, off of what I've been experiencing. It's basically like, I to be honest with you, I'm gonna word it how, I'm trying to word this how it feels, right? It's basically like supercell, right? I don't call it supercell because it doesn't resonate with me. I don't exactly know why, but hey, you know what I'm saying? If it don't resonate, it don't resonate. I grew up calling it supercell. And it was always a thing to me that I'm like, yo, it feels like something about this is like more than what I can really like understand, right? But I always called it supercell because I hated hearing the other shit. Like, it just didn't resonate with me. So I'm calling it special cell, right? Here's why I'm going to call it special cell. Because from what I've learned from, let's say, spirituality, intuition, and all these different things, it's really supposed to like pendulum swing, right? So going from what they had us calling it straight into supercell doesn't feel right. It feels like a pendulum swing, right? Now, granted, I do agree with the fact that I would rather them pendulum swing that shit and throw supercell out there than it be what it was, right? Because it's not what they've been saying it is at all, and I can prove that shit. Right? I call it special cell, and I'll say this because the cells, there's certain cells that are, what is that shit called? Bone marrow is making, right? When they talk about the cells, they always talk about like blood and this, that, and the other. But what I've learned from spirituality and being in tune with nature is that you're really supposed to go to the core root of shit. Because as long as you're fixing things on the branch and you're not paying attention to the actual trunk of the tree, then you're wasting your time, right? No, you're wasting your time. You can eventually get to the root that way, but it takes forever, right? A lot of times, if you just remove the shit from the root, you remove it. And there will be some things that you can't just remove the root, right? You got to do some other shit. Maybe you have to do the long way. I don't know. It is whatever it is, right? But let me try and stay on track as much as I can. But, right, so I don't understand why they keep saying that, oh, you know, just go to the blood. Nigga, you should be looking at the bone marrow, right? They say, oh, the only way to do that is gene therapy is absolute bullshit, right? There's a reason that they're not helping anyone that has that type of, you know, anyone whose cells are special. Right? That's what I'm going to say. I am saying this because I'll break this down to you. I basically got away from my family, my parents, the environment that I was in, and I got away from these people. And what I started to notice was that my body did not feel the same way that it felt when I was around them. Right? I went back around into that environment, my body started to hurt again, and it started to feel like that cell stuff that niggas that have experienced. And what I realized in a lot of this was, and I actually made this on another video where I was like, the house next to me, their air conditioning unit turned on, and I could feel that shit in my spine, and I was like, what the fuck, right? So basically what it is, and like I've said this before, it's basically you're just feeling your environment. It's not you, right? So what the average person doesn't know or doesn't realize or was never taught was that majority of the people around you are actually sick and don't know it, right? I know this because I've literally meditated and got very in tune with, like, I said this before, like, I literally was at the door of death, right? I've said this in another video. I was at the door of death. So I got a different level of experience when it comes to this shit, when it comes to, like, spiritual shit. And I'm not saying, oh, I have more experience. No. I'm saying my specific experience allowed me to, like, experience, like, people's energy, right? And what I realized with this, like, for example, when I was by myself, right? Like, I went somewhere, I was by myself, and what I noticed was, like, my teeth weren't hurting, right? Because I used to always felt like I had cavities, so my teeth were hurt. I left these people, I stopped having that experience. I was like, what the fuck? And it's like, that can't be a coincidence, right? I went back around these people, my teeth start hurting. I'm like, what the fuck? Right? So basically what these cells that we have they're special cells that are quite literally for picking up, like, mass amounts of information from your environment. This means people, items, anything energetically. That is why a lot of times, like, you feel so insane and so, like, ridiculous. And basically what it's doing is it's putting your body in overdrive, right? It's basically flooding the nervous system to a ridiculous degree to where it's not functioning to the capacity it's supposed to function, in the sense of, if your needs were taken care of, meaning, how can I word that? If you were in if we lived in a time where society was actually, like, good and healthy and evolved, we would probably be like the kings of that shit, right? Or we would be like the frontline warriors of that, right? It's something in that type of, like, we would be at the top of shit, in the sense of, like, some of the most important people in society, with something we're born with. So we're actually natural born, like, kings and queens and, like, leaders and warriors, and like, we're just on another level of shit naturally. And so what this is something in your DNA that makes you special. It's basically what it is, right? You got to think about a time where society wasn't run by the people that's running it right now, who was basically fucking everybody over, right? The average person doesn't realize how sick the people around them are. When I say the people around them are sick, people around them are eating junk food. Their soul is basically enslaved. You can feel this on an energetic level, right? Once you tap into that, you can't really go back. You feel it all the time. Every time when I'm driving around certain times and this nigga's going to work, my body starts to react a certain way. And at first I used to be like, what the fuck? And then I realized, oh, this is the niggas that's going to work. And it feels like control, like they're being controlled. Their soul is controlled, right? So, what was I saying? What's happening is you're absorbing the environment around you. So you gotta look at your environment. Is your environment, anyone that has, like, anything like that, you need to be in an environment that is a very strong, like, nature environment. There are tons of trees, there's water, there's animals. That's where you need to be. That is where you need to be. And here's what I'm saying, and I don't say my experiment, but what I experienced. I literally went away from everybody, and I went to an environment that was very, very strong nature-wise. And what would happen to me is I'd be absolutely fine. Like, I didn't feel like I was having these like attacks and episodes and nonsense, right? Now, granted, I have been sleeping in the Walmart parking lot in my car, which is obviously not, we all know that's not good for your body. So sometimes I'd wake up feeling kind of crazy and like what the fuck? Nigga, I would go to the park, right? I would go to the park. I would just sit in my car and meditate. And the pain and anything that, like, I won't say the pain, but like that uncomfortable ass, like, fuck, it went away, right? Nature took that shit away, and it was showing me it's not necessarily your energy. It's not you. It's what you're picking up from the environment. Now, granted, I'm sitting in the Walmart parking lot, so you got these enslaved motherfuckers going to work and shit. And I only say that in the sense of, like, I know what people that go to work feel like. I know that what people that are working under someone else and they don't know they're not into their soul, I know what it feels like. And I always feel that when I'm either in traffic at a certain time or I'm like first thing in the morning, right? You can feel it. And it's like, it feels like that's what I'm absorbing, right? You're absorbing the people that have been standing in Walmart and they're going to work tired in their body and they're not taking care of themselves and they're relying on sheer willpower to get them through. But their bodies are basically slowly falling apart. That's what it is. We're absorbing all these fucking people. Now, the next part I'm going to tell you is very much... Oh, I can't go that way. It very much relies in the same way that we're absorbing all these people. You can go into nature and we will absorb... First of all, everyone can do this shit. And they show you in Dragon Ball Z, right? When Gohan teaches Videl that she could do the same shit that he's doing, you have to question, oh shit, everybody can do the same thing. And we know that now. And nature will tell you a lot of people really can do the same thing. Now, it doesn't mean that we're all necessarily the same, right? Because clearly we have special cells, right? We have special cells that allow us to do certain shit. There's other black people or whatever people that don't have those cells, right? So basically what I'm saying is, the same way the average person could go in nature and absorb nature and absorb its energy, because they show you in Dragon Ball Z, life force energy and all this other shit, that everything that is alive runs on. We now know plants, all this, everything that is alive works on that, right? So that means anyone that has special cells can go in nature and absorb well over double, triple, quadruple the amount of the energy that they need. Not even that they need, in general, compared to the average person. Now, the thing with this is, like, it requires a lot, right? It's not just, oh, I was in nature for like 3 days and then I can go back to this environment. It doesn't work that way. You can't go back to the environment because the environment is sick. Unless you reach a level where you're powerful enough to shift the fuck out of that environment and make it healthy, that's different. But you really can't go back to the healthy environment because your cells are going to pick up on all the information. And then basically what happens is, if your cells are picking up on this, and mind you, everyone's cells pick up information, but we have special cells that pick up either more information or more, there's something that's on another level of some shit, right? And what's happening is, if your cell is picking up the information, that means it's absorbing the information. It's absorbing the energy. That's the fucking difference. That's why a lot of times niggas be in pain and shit and all this. You've been absorbing all these other motherfuckers and you think it's you. So you have to go somewhere where the nature is so strong that it will wash out all this unnecessary energy and information. It's on overload because you've been sitting in the same environment for too long. That's all it is. Leave the environment, go somewhere that is strong enough for you to wash that shit out. And you start going into some other shit, nigga. That's all I'm saying. Let's see how much fucking gas I got. Right? That's basically what it is. And I won't say that I tested this. My intuition has been guiding me. My intuition has been basically trying to get me to do this for like 7 years. Right? But I didn't know what it was doing at first, right? It wasn't until I got stronger and more aware of my gifts and abilities that I've had unlocked that I was able to, like, finally make sense of what it was showing me and telling me to do. And I'm like, oh, I see. So this is what was shown to me. The universe brought this to me. It basically said, like, just work on this. And so, hey, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, that was different. That was super different. Oh shit! My fucking arm is popping. I'm hungry. Am I hungry? I don't know if this is hunger or what. This is something. But yeah, I just wanted to put that here. There's something more for me to... Yeah, it absolutely is this. Absolutely. Yeah. I will say though, I guess that's like a learning kind of thing. I will say though, the difference between what I'm doing, say it like that, but I'm listening to my intuition. I'm not just out here doing shit, right? I'm actually listening to my intuition and being guided to do certain things. So, yeah. That to me is a very important aspect. Alright, I'm ready to get some food. I'm hungry now. Another thing that I was looking at, anyone that has like special cells is like highly talented. Just naturally highly talented, naturally smart. And I think the most important thing I've seen is just getting away from anyone that doesn't let you shine like to the max. Like, if you're a genius and the other kids ain't geniuses, hey nigga, that's not your, you know what I'm saying? It don't mean like show off, but it don't mean hold back either, right? And granted, it's whatever resonates with you, because that goes a lot deeper than I can really word right now. But I realize that it's a lot of times I be doing special shit, and it'd be like, nah, I don't need to be around these people. So, damn, it still feel like something is missing from what I need to say. It's high as fucking God. Yeah, it's really down. So, there's something else. Now, the other thing I was gonna say, I just pieced it together, was basically that I don't know what that means. That was the fastest red light I've ever seen in my life. What I was gonna say was damn, how am I supposed to word that without fucking saying that? Okay. Getting somewhere or environment or a state of being where you're like fully you. There's better words for this. Like you're fully in your energy. I don't know how else to word that. Basically, here I could paint a picture. I basically left. I'm hours away from my family, and I'm in a very strong nature environment. It means it's only my energy, right? It's only me. It's quite literally only me. And I'm seeing how expansive my energy is becoming because I'm not around these other people. That is, to me, like, I don't want to word that. Best way I can explain it, just get the fuck away from everyone. Whatever you need to do just starts becoming very evident to you. It becomes obvious. It just makes its way to you on its own. Like, it's very beautiful. Alright, another thing is, thinking too much about anyone, just let go of that shit. That happened to me yesterday, literally yesterday. Like that came, it was like a wave came over me. I'm like, what the fuck? And then it's like, it was like I enmeshed with that shit and I was absorbing it. And I'm like, nah, that gotta go. That gotta go. That shit is out. Right? But it's that powerful that like, whatever I was thinking of, I immediately start to enmesh with. So why don't I just start thinking and sensing and feeling the best life, the best version of this reality for myself? Then it just becomes real. And it really is that simple. Now, the key to a lot of this is intuition, right? It's intuition. Because what I learned is a lot of people start doing these visual boards and manifestation. It's certain shit you don't even need to be manifesting, right? You don't need that shit. So what you need to do is go inward, meditate, and meditate long enough, right? That's how my intuition got strong. And a lot of what meditation basically did with me, it just clears out other people's energy. What I had to learn was I needed to get the fuck out of the environment. Because what's the point of clearing that energy out if you're still in the environment? You're gonna keep reabsorbing the shit. So, as simple as that was, I didn't really realize that. But, yeah, do that shit, leave that environment, and don't fucking go back. Like, that's part of my thing right now. Like, I'm not going back. I'm doing what I'm doing right now, and the universe just keeps paving different paths for me in different ways. So, yeah, I'm not fucking going.